So I think that we could all agree here that 2023 was by far the absolute worst year for the Walt Disney Company, not just due to the box office flop era that it was, but due to the fact that it also so happened to land on their 100th anniversary year that really came with a lot of call-outs by Elon Musk, South Park Studios, and even, of course, you had the overall Snow White in the Evil Queen movie announcement by the Daily Wire. That was another thing that Disney had to deal with on their anniversary day, by the way. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. You can also follow me at Mike01. I thank you all so very much for the great and kind support. So we know that Bob Iger has been going on this thing about how there's no agenda, but there is an agenda here at Lucasfilm, admitting that at the same exact time. He keeps on claiming that there's no such thing as, an agenda if you're promoting a thing related to DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, above proper storytelling, above character development. And guys, I have to be very upfront about this. Again, I don't mind if you embrace diversity and everything along with those lines if it comes in naturally with the process. If it comes along with the script and the way it's written, if it fits in organically, then so be it. But if you're just doing it for the sake of doing it, then it's just not going to work. And that's exactly what they did with The Little Mermaid, with the whole race swapping thing, and what they are doing also with Snow White 2025. And that now has a lot to do with Rachel Zegler once again. Let's get into this, as there's a lot of drama sparking behind the scenes between Zegler and the Disney executives and her team, and exactly what's going on there with the Snow White film. Now, with all divisions at the Walt Disney Company showing no signs of recovering for both 2024 and 25, one major development now involves more to do with actress Rachel Zegler in the wake of the Snow White 2025 drama, and what Disney recently did to the actress and the type of reaction it created behind the scenes. Now, one crucial update to this scenario involves how after months of negotiations between the Disney executives and the creative team behind Snow White 25 is that after yet another failed test screening, Bob Iger made the ultimate decision to delete the entire ending of Snow White that is now prepared for last-minute reshoots that will take place throughout the summer. The main reason why this is also creating an uproar from Rachel Zegler behind the scenes is that she viewed this as her best acting session in the film, since it reportedly involved a full-on speech by the Evil Queen, portrayed by Gal Gadot, going on about how Snow White's father was a part of the patriarchy in his kingdom, just before both Snow White and the Evil Queen were reportedly going to have a sword fight toward the end of the film. Zegler is reportedly furious about how Gal Gadot's speech was deleted, since Zegler also believed her segment was her best acting session in the film as well, and that the battle took months of training to complete and perfect the scene. The main reason why the ending of Snow White 25 did not resonate with test screeners is that the reaction was that, of course, it was too similar to the Kristen Stewart Snow White and the Huntsman film in nature and the way it was presented. Also, the dialogue was reportedly so out of place and cringeworthy that it took the audience out of the experience. The ending was said to have been a major deal breaker for audience members, and only made the already failing film put into a worse position. Now Disney is reportedly spending millions more on reshoots and reanimating some of the CGI dwarfs. Zegler is also pleased, or not pleased I should say, over the fact that her screen time is also going to be diminished in Snow White 2025 now, as Bob Iger is officially not cutting the running time, or of course is cutting the running time for the film. Now, what's interesting about this, guys, before I move on, the fact that they are cutting the running time for Snow White 2025 and how it's impacting the amount of screen time that Zegler is getting in this film, and how that's really creating a lot of tension between her and Disney. We already know that she was let go from various projects over at Disney. We'll talk more about that in the coming days, but for example, the 2 Snow White sequels were cancelled after she was excluded from those films. Disney failed to find a proper replacement or a proper recast, and they decided to just say, alright, to hell with it, let's just put that to the wayside and just focus on Snow White 25 alone as a singular film format. So they wanted to make it into a trilogy, kind of similar to what they're trying to do with The Lion King. You know, you got The Lion King in 2019, you got The Lion King Mufasa, which is a prequel, and then they want to move forward in the next 3 years to create a Lion King 2019 sequel that would be kind of based on the animated one. Now, moving forward, alright, Zegler also, on top of everything here, got involved in very argumentative conversations with the Disney executives through her agent and manager after they finalized their plan to exclude Zegler from taking the lead voice acting role for a new Disney animated film project that is said to adapt, get this, one of the animated classics in 3D animated form this time. A break from their live-action format that Bob Iger recently gave the greenlit on to experiment. Zegler was actually fired and laid off from this new animated project that is planned to adapt the Disney animated classic, and Zegler lost all negotiations for another Disney project as well that was recently made final. So, let me stop here again, guys. The next couple of days we'll talk more about what that Disney animated project is going to be. We're not quite sure exactly what it's going to be based on. And when I say animated, I'm talking about like the animated format of Frozen, for example, based on an animated classic. So it's going to be that type of style, that type of overall animation technique, if you will, that they are embracing now to basically remake one of the iconic stories, whatever it is, that Zegler was supposed to be involved in. Now, the cancellation of multiple Rachel Zegler scenes in Snow White 25 is what ultimately created arguments between Zegler and her team and the Disney executives that's only making the Snow White production more difficult, with a likely delay yet again from March until the summer of 25, if this thing keeps going on. So again, Snow White was already delayed by a whole year. I don't know if you knew this, but it was supposed to come out in March of this year, and then it got delayed until next year of March. Now, there's a likely scenario where they're going to push it until June or July of 2025 if the drama continues, if the struggles continue, and the test screenings keep failing. If I were Disney, I would Batgirl this thing. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, Batgirl was a movie that was all finished, it was all done, and it was cancelled. I think it would have been good for Brendan Fraser, but I don't think it would have been good in isolation as a movie. But that movie was basically just put into the vault and locked away forever, and never will see the light of day. Unless they really want to bring it out there one time, but I highly doubt it. So they should Batgirl Snow White. They should most certainly do that kind of, scenario where they just lock this thing up in the vault, call it quits, maybe start over with a different actress that has better PR, and I think at the end of the day, this is only going to hurt Disney in the long run. It's going to take a major hit at Disney in the first quarter of 2024 with the marketing campaign for the film alone. So overall, I would really love to hear what everyone has to say about what's in store for Disney in 2025. Look, we got a lot of things going on right now with Blade. There's a lot of drama there. Directors have been bailing out one after the other. There's a lot of setbacks with the Blade movie. And this comes in the wake of how they wanted to make it an all-female-led story, and some of that was restructured made its way into the final cut as well. We'll have more to talk about that next week, but stay tuned. Overall, guys, I would like to hear what you all have to say about this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.